You know how they talk about Gen Z feels cheated because I guess the economy is not delivering as promised? Well, it's not just Gen Z, and it's not just millennials. It's all generations after the boomers. The boomers really had it made. I think of all the generations, Gen X is the most cheated. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a Gen Xer, but I feel like Gen X is the most cheated because we really leaned in and bought into the idea of the American dream. We worked hard. We got degrees. We entered the workforce. We bought into the idea that if we want to advance, we got to continue getting more education, whether it's degrees or certifications or license. We did all of the things, right? And we worked towards the goal of retiring, not even necessarily early, but retiring and being in a good position. And a lot of us are not going to be in a good position. A lot of us are not going to be able to retire at 65 because of how this economy has gone straight up bipolar on us, because of how employers no longer value us. We are expendable. We are going to suffer. And I'm speaking as a Gen Xer, but this is going to be the case for all generations after us as well. But I'm only speaking from a Gen X perspective. I know for me, when I first started my career, fresh out of college, late 90s, early 2000s, I entered the workforce with a degree, of course. I had a solid job, stable job at the time. I was contributing to my 401k right off the bat. I did not delay. That's another thing we were taught. Contribute to your 401k. As long as you do that, you will be good. That is not the case anymore. I want to say 5 to 8 years into my career and contributing to my 401k, we had the housing bubble, and I lost a lot of money. That was a major setback for me. I don't think I have recovered the equity, the assets that I lost during that bubble. Fortunate for me, I hadn't been in the workforce long. A lot of people have been in there longer and lost much more than I. But the difference between me and them, I believe, is those folks have since retired. They've probably retired maybe 10 years ago when the economy was not as bad as it is today, when they still have other I guess Social Security is paying. I don't know if Social Security is going to be around when I retire. So that is a scary thought to have. And now I'm at the point where, of course, my current situation is I'm now out of work, and it is now dawning on me. Like, I already knew, like I've been knowing, or I've realized, or I've noticed that employers are going to lay off on a regular basis now. This is just how they respond to cycles in the market. This is how they respond to downtimes. They lay off. That was not the way they moved in the past. So this is a new normal, which is why I realized, early on that I will not work for an employer that I will not be able to comfortably work for an employer for a decade and retire with them. that was a realization I had. I want to say, what is this, 2024? That's a realization I had 6 years ago. 6 years ago is when I woke up and thought, okay, this will not be my reality. I was working for a company, a utility company, stable, I thought. Well, it had been stable for years. I mean, we're talking about just a background. My background is in the utility industry. This most stable industry used to be the most stable industry there was. I worked in finance, another stable career path. I did all the things that would have guaranteed me stability in my later years. Those things, those elements no longer provide stability. I was working for a utility company. I worked for utility all my life, straight out of not all my life, straight out of college. I joined a utility company, and for the next, I want to say so I joined a utility in 2000. I left the utility industry in 2019. So for almost 20 years, I worked in utilities, right? So the last utility company I worked for, I was there maybe 2 years, almost 3 years, and they up and sold. They sold to another utility company. And that was my wake-up call, because I had never experienced that before. And of course, when a new company takes over, there's going to be some downsides and there's going to be some cost cutting, and the writing was on the wall. So while I was with this utility company, that's when I had the wake-up call, and I realized that you will not be able to retire with this company. First of all, this company has sold, and this new company is even more aggressive, even more cutthroat when it comes to cost control and just process improvements. That became the new thing, cost cutting, process improvements. They were heavy on that. So of course I had to leave the industry. I left the industry. I went into my local school district. Again, another stable place. I chose to leave that industry, or that job, because it was not for me. I was used to corporate America. I wasn't used to the locals that don't like change, the locals that are not open to new ideas. I wasn't used to that. And I went into healthcare. And that was a great opportunity, but healthcare does not pay well, not the finance side. It does not pay well. I left there, and I was lucky enough to be able to go back into utilities. What did I do that for? What did I do that for? I don't think I will ever go back into utilities again, because the utilities is where I just recently got laid off from. So I joined this utility company. They had recently divested from a bigger utility company. So they were small and they were on the come up, right? They had other smaller utilities that they had recently bought. And I saw this as an opportunity to get back into utilities. Not because I thought it was necessarily, I thought it would be a little more stable than this. I was only there for 10 months. So I was not expecting that volatility, although realizing that utilities is not a stable place, but utilities pay well. And, we were suffering through inflation. So I was looking at the money and the potential to ideally work at least 5 years for them, but it ended up to be only 10 months. Long story short, this small utility that I joined, they were not prepared for, I guess, being independent. They were not able to hit their matrices, and therefore they made the decision to lay off. And I was in that number. I had just joined less than 10 months ago. It was so unexpected. I was killing it at work. So when I got the call, I was so damn shocked. So suffice it to say, that's just this experience just feeds into my disdain for the life we are forced to live in this world, in this country. It has really just enhanced my bitterness towards work and life. Not life. I love my life, but just we got to work to live, right? So that's a part of life. It has just made me very bitter towards the idea of work and having to do it and having to be strung along in this manner. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out. I wonder if anybody else has experienced that, is feeling this way. I'm especially annoyed because now this is during a time when a lot of companies are laying off, a lot of large companies. So the job market is going to be, there's going to be a lot of demand for jobs. I'm going to be out there trying to compete with a lot of people for a job. And that annoys my soul. That annoys my soul. And I was just thinking, I was like, and these large companies, I know CBS has done it. I think Amazon is about to do it. My company did it 1st of October. I was in that number along with a lot of unfortunate people that got laid off. And now we're just out here fighting tooth and nail to survive. Yeah. Let me know what y'all thoughts. If y'all are experiencing this, God bless you. Best of luck to you. I'm in it with you as well, and I will be letting you know how it's going for me. So good luck to y'all experiencing that, and keep up the fight. We don't have any choice but to grasp for this dream. But Lord, I sure hope we're able to retire one day in a good position. It's just not looking too good. That's all I have. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.